So generally speaking, we tend to say that age 35 is already advanced maternal age. However, I do argue that point because as we know, people age differently. You can see people who are one 60-year-old who looks very old and another 60-year-old who looks very young. And a lot of that is lifestyle related. And now you can do biological testing for your biologic age as opposed to your chronological age. There's various ways of doing it. My argument is if you can keep your biology younger, you should be able to stretch that period of time in which you can conceive and have a healthy pregnancy. And I'm very into longevity medicine as well. This is my other interest for my own health, but I also put it into my practice. And a lot of the same things that you do for longevity will improve your fertility. So
Yeah,
you're getting a double whammy.
so what are some of those things? Because if we're talking about the health of the eggs, fertility, and we're talking about longevity, and like I said, they kind of go hand in hand together. Keep your body healthy, your biological age down. We have all these scales now that talk about, you stand on your scale and it's got electrodes and it's going to tell you what your biological age is.
Mm-hmm.
And people are so concerned about that. But part of this question is there a point that we are so concerned with our health that we're doing so much that we reverse everything that we're doing health? Too many vitamins, too much running, stress on the body, and all of that. So, can that happen? And where's that fine
Absolutely.
line?
In medicine, I always say is the Goldilocks principle for almost everything, whether it's a measurement of a hormone or an activity, how much you eat, how much you sleep. Too little is not good, too much is not good. It's got to be just right. And that's where Goldilocks taught us medicine.
Is there um it's not defined for every person that exact timeline, right? Is there a little bit of an individual, like maybe I don't need 9 hours of sleep for my health because I'm doing a few other things. I just need seven versus somebody else who may need that full 9 hours. Is it that, I don't want to say is it that loose, but it's not a defined formula for every person.
Yes, I mean we generalize and we say 8 hours of sleep, but this
Mm-hmm.
is one thing that COVID taught me that for the first time in my life, I stopped sleeping with an alarm clock when we were shut down, and I said, "Wow, this is going to be interesting. Now I'll see how much sleep I need." And I always knew that I needed more sleep than most people. Well, it took me, a few weeks to realize that 9.5 hours was perfect for me, and that's more than most people need, but that's my need. And I know that now and I honor that now. And it's made a big change in my health. So yes, of course, there's variation. We're all different. And that's where genetics comes into the picture.
Oh, how much should we listen to our bodies? People
Oh,
always say, "Oh, I listen to my body," or "I listen to my doctor." But should we really listen to our body?
absolutely. Our body's telling us things all the time. And for instance, not being able to get pregnant can be a signal from your body saying, I'm overwhelmed with all this other stuff I have going on. Pregnancy is not, high on my list right now. Survival is. And for
Okay.
instance, stress is typical one is high cortisol levels will affect the reproductive system. It'll shut it down because that's not something that's necessary and it's emergency when you have high cortisol levels. You need to deal with that emergency.
You hear that word, cortisol level for both men and women. So, I mean, I think what we're talking about right now, as a general, men should be listening to this as well, not
Oh,
just women.
absolutely, absolutely. And I wrote this book for men and women. And I don't have, well, women are my primary practice, but
Mm.
men are half of the equation. And this has been forgotten or overlooked for very many years. But now we know it's more subtle. For instance, sperm are responsible for making the placenta, which is very important for fetal health. And now we're realizing that early miscarriages may be sperm problems from the placenta not being made properly. So it's a more subtle way, but it's still very important. So I think we should consider that it's a 50-50 proposition by men and women.
It takes two.
It takes two to tango, and you both need to know how to dance.